We may think when I market, I'm bothering people, but the truth of the matter is when we don't market, we're bothering people. When we don't market, we have people who are in pain, a pain that our businesses solve, and we're telling them you just have to stay in that pain. Well, we've been running a series on the things that stop physician entrepreneurs from marketing their businesses that are so amazing that can change lives and create time and financial freedom for them. And reason number two is this: I feel like I'm bothering people by asking too much, by talking about my business too much. Like I just feel like I'm bothering people. Okay. So I want us to talk about that. Okay. Now, again, this is something that I've experienced. So if you're not really familiar with me, I'm a pediatrician. I've had my private practice for the last 15 years. I'm a serial entrepreneur. At this point, I run 5 different organizations, and I have experienced every single one of these things. I started off my journey as an entrepreneur as an introverted introvert, like a super shy, socially awkward, introverted introvert. Okay. Like introverts called me introverted. So I totally get it. And I remember being so afraid. Like, you talked about it. Why are you still talking about it? You're bothering people. People are going to get tired of hearing this. They don't want to hear about your podcast. They don't want to hear about your workshop. They don't want to hear about the books you wrote. They don't want to hear about the Entrepreneur Business School. They don't want to hear about the profitable private practice movement. And like you talked about it yesterday. You did a post about it the other day. You did an email about it the other day. Like, nobody wants to hear about this stuff. And the problem with that thought is it will stop you from marketing. And the problem with you not marketing is that it cripples your business. It cripples your business. There are so many people who will pay for what you do, but they have no clue you exist. And so when we don't market, we're hurting our businesses. We put our businesses in positions where they cannot grow. Think about it. Apple is still marketing. Amazon is still marketing. Tesla is still like we're everybody's marketing, right? And so you want to lean all in on this stuff. Okay. So let's talk about this for a little bit. Okay. Now, one of the things I did is I stopped to say, okay, let me look at the life of somebody that I've been bothering. Okay. Somebody I've been bothering. And a doctor comes to mind. And this doctor, she's in the EntreMD Business School. And I believe the first time she heard about us, I was doing a workshop for private practice owners, the Profitable Private Practice Workshop. And I had also done the Revenue Boost Challenge. So these were two workshops that I do to help doctors win as entrepreneurs. And so she had come for both of them. She was very engaged. I remember looking at her and say, oh my goodness, this lady is someone to watch because she's such a massive action taker and all of those things. And so when I launched the Profitable Private Practice movement, she joined the movement. And so she'd show up every Thursday. She's working on her business and all of that. And we're talking significant change, right? Like, this is what you need to do to fill your schedule. She'll go do it, come back and say, oh my goodness, I found X number of patients and now our schedule is full for me and my physician assistant. And then we'd say, okay, this is what you need to do, as far as social media goes, to even increase the brand awareness and all of that stuff. She'll go do it. She'll come back, report, like, I had the most number of views I've ever had on TikTok and all of those things. And then we'll say, okay. And she actually reached out to me because, again, I kept talking about the EntreMD Business School and all of these things. And she reached out and she said, Dr. And I just want you to know I'm putting my money together. I'm coming into the EntreMD Business School. I was like, oh my goodness, nobody's ready for you. Okay, because you are such a massive action taker. She comes into the EntreMD Business School. She learns about how to lead her office manager properly. She trains her on the EntreMD ideologies and all of that. She actually got her the Profitable Private Practice playbook, which it's on Amazon. If you run a private practice, you absolutely want to get this book and get it for, if you have an office manager, get it for them as well. And so she did that and all of that stuff, and then learned how to lead her team profitably and all of those things, and came back. She's like, I had my first $100,000 month. And that was a target for her. And I think the year before she had done 500,000 all year. She's like, I had my first $100,000 month. And we didn't just, tiptoe past the 100,000. Like, we skipped along right past it. We sped past it. Right. And she was so excited and all of these things. And I remember thinking, I was like, well, what if you had stopped promoting? What if you'd stop marketing? What if you start talking about what you do? What if you start talking about the book or the 𝐏𝐫𝐲𝐻 Business School or the workshop or the podcast or whatever, right? What would have happened to her? Now, she probably would have hit that milestone, but not in that time frame, and not with the kind of peace that she has, not with her being able to do where it's team led, where her team is running stuff, right? And so when I looked at it, I was like, this is amazing. And this is the same thing for you. This is the same thing for you. So this is the way I want you to look at it. There is somebody in pain. So, for instance, for this doctor, she had a revenue milestone she wanted to hit that she hadn't hit. She had an office manager that was working for her, but was quote unquote underperforming. And not because she's bad, but just because of the way she was led. And not because her leader was bad, it's just because her leader didn't know how. Right. And so she had an office manager who was underperforming. She had team members, like as a whole, who were underperforming. She was working harder than she needed to work. She had less time off and all of those things. And that's the pain that she had. And that's the pain she wanted to make go away. Who had the antidote for that pain? I did. And if I didn't market, if I didn't tell her about the podcast, if I didn't talk about the workshop, if I didn't talk about the profitable private practice movement, if I didn't talk about the 𝐏𝐻𝐾 Business School, she wouldn't have known. And if she didn't know, she would have had to do without. So we may think when I market, I'm bothering people, but the truth of the matter is when we don't market, we're bothering people. When we don't market, we have people who are in pain, a pain that our businesses solve, and we're telling them you just have to stay in that pain. When we don't market, we're borderline mean because we have an answer to a problem that somebody has, and we're just like, I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to keep this to myself. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to keep it to myself, right? And so when you market, you're not bothering people. When you don't, you are. Now, you may feel you're bothering people because somebody may say, I don't want to see that. Yeah, if they don't want to see it, it means they don't have the pain your business solves. So they're not your people anyway. Like, we can't lead our businesses based on the people who are not our people. We lead our businesses for the people who need exactly what we do. Of course, right now, if a plumber came and put up an ad and was talking about what he did, I wouldn't care because I don't need a plumber right now. I don't need a plumber right now. But there's a different service. I'm just like, yes, exactly. Who is this person? Who is this person? Right? Like, this is exactly what I need. Okay. So when you do this, you are not bothering people. Okay. So this is the homework that I want you to do. And it may seem simple, but I want you to do it because it will change everything for you. It's very simple. I want you to itemize the pain that your ideal client or your ideal patient has before they start working with you. Okay, so for me, it's things like they don't know how to build a brand, they don't know how to show up on social media, they're stranded as far like they don't have time to do anything, right? Like they're doing all the things by themselves. They have team members, they don't know how to lead them, they don't know how to get the best out of them, and it's driving them nuts. They don't know how to create revenue in their businesses. They've had the same revenue goals for years, they've not been able to hit it, and things like that. Like, I fix that. I fix that. You have a business that's profitable and you hate it and you hate your life because you're like, oh my goodness, the amount of work I have to do and the stress I have to deal with and all of that stuff. I fix that. I fix that. Right. And so the more I lean into it, the more I know I'm not bothering people by marketing. At least I'm not bothering my people by marketing. I am hurting them. So, for instance, we have 1 million physicians, licensed physicians in the United States, and we have so many problems. And my mission is not just to build a business. My mission is to help 100,000 physicians build profitable seven and multiple seven-figure businesses, and so that we can start living life and practicing medicine on our terms. And I know that the 100,000 will influence the rest. I know that, right? And so that's my job. And so I lean into the pain and I go solve that pain by making them aware of what is available to fix the pain. And that's what your business does too. So I want you to take inventory of the pain that your patients have, that your clients have, that your business solves. And so when you go out to market, you don't feel like you're bothering people. You feel like you're helping your people because that is exactly what you're doing. Okay. Okay. And as always, I'll leave you with this. If you're like, and Dr. Una, I need help with this. Again, we exist to support you on this journey, whether what you need is to get your time back so you can actually do the marketing, whether it's to know how to market, whether it's to overcome the mindset drama with that, whether it's how to lead your team so they can market, whatever it is, we're here to support you. So book a call with my team on tremd.com/call, and we'll be happy to take a look at your business and tell you which program we think would be the best for you, how we can best support you. Okay. Now go do your homework, and I want you to imagine a time. I want you to visualize this, that you're living a life as an entrepreneur where you proudly talk about what you do. And when you talk about it, you don't feel like you're bothering people. In fact, when you don't market, you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm bothering people, I'm being mean to people. And you feel compelled to go tell people about what you do because it changes lives. And that's exactly what your business does. Okay. So rooting for you, and I'll see you on the next episode.